Carmelo Anthony is on trial in Collin County, Texas, charged with first-degree murder in the April 2025 stabbing death of Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. Anthony has pleaded not guilty and claims he acted in self-defense. Prosecutors argued the stabbing was unjustified act of murder, according to AP News. So the desert jury controversy, and that is major issues receiving media attention, is that the seated jury reportedly contains no black jurors. Defense attorneys challenged the prosecution's removal of the remaining black prospective jurors, arguing racial concerns. Prosecutors stated those jurors was removed because they were educators, and the judge accepted the explanation, according to The Guardian. So I don't understand about the education part because they educators, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. What the jury must decide. The central question is whether Anthony's actions qualify as lawful self-defense under Texas law or whether the stabbing was criminal conduct. Prosecutors contend Anthony provoked or escalated the confrontation and used unjustified deadly force. Defense attorneys argue Anthony feared seriously bodily harm and reacted to a physical confrontation, according to The Guardian. So Texas self-defense law, under Texas law, a person may use force when they reasonably believe it is immediately necessary to protect themselves from another person's unlawful force. So it is Carmelo's belief that he was in immediately necessary unlawful force of action towards him. Not what we think, not what the lawyers think, not what the judge think. It's what his perception. This is what he's going through. He's in immediate danger. So he believed, according to Carmelo, he said he was afraid. He was afraid, and it's documented that he stated that he was afraid. So he's fighting for his life because he don't know what these two people or persons going to do with him, right? Deadly force may be justified only when the person reasonably believes it is immediately necessary to A, protect against another person's use or attempted use of deadly force. Your fist can be deadly force, feet, biting can be deadly force. Prevent certain violent crimes such as aggravated assault, robbery, or murder. Right? You can't say what Austin and his brother would have not done that. You don't know what they was going to do. Just like y'all don't know what, or they did not know what Carmelo was going to do. We wasn't there. We're not in their heads. We don't know their thoughts. Right? Important questions likely to be considered by jurors, including one, who initiated or escalated the confrontation. Two, was Anthony facing a threat of death or serious bodily injury? Three, was the use of a knife proportional to the threat or a cleaner? Four, were Anthony's actions objectively reasonable under the circumstances, according to Fox News. So Fox News put this out, right? All right, so the self-defense explained, here it is. Here's the other points here, possible points. One, what happened at the Frisco track meet? Number two, why is the all non-black jury controversial to people? Why is it controversial? Three, what Texas law actually says about self-defense? Four, arguments from both prosecution and defense. 5, what jurors must legally determine, not emotionalism, not what the media said, not hype, but legally, not what the judge or the prosecution want or the defense wants, but legally. Number 6, why social media narratives may differ from courtroom evidence. So these are things that we can consider. I'm putting some things out there we can consider, right? Multiple recent reports say the seated jury contained, again, no black jurors, and that the defense objected to prosecution strikes of the remaining black prospective jurors. The judge reportedly accepted the state's race neutral explanation for those strikes, according to the Guardian again. That does not mean that any juror has been found to have acted unlawfully or with racial bias. Jury selection disputes are litigated through legal procedures. For example, Batson challenges, and courts decide whether strikes were improperly based on race. So, no black jurors, no one of his peers. Someone would think of they trying to solidify a guilty verdict to make sure he's guilty. They don't want a hung jury, and that's what they're trying to do. It's a possibility. And their explanation, oh, well, they were educated. There's no neutral bias, says the prosecutor. But why don't want no black people? Black people can make sound judgments on uh, the legalities. We're not going to get somebody off just because. If the evidence shows proof that Austin and his brother did not, or rather Austin did not do anything, or his brother improperly, and it's all Karmelo's fault, then that's what it is. But legally, if Karmelo acted in self-defense and it was within the law, of course, yes, they will, um, vote appropriately. And so you think, why the prosecution so scared of that, right? Give something to think about. So Texas self-defense law, under Texas Penal Code Chapter 9, a person may use force when they reasonably believe it is immediately necessary to protect against another's unlawful force. It was unlawful because Austin was messing with him. It's illegal to assault somebody, not protect a tent. He was in the rain. He could have asked him once the rain stopped, oh man, can you leave? No one can sit on here. Or just being a kind person and allow someone to sit on a tent because it's raining. Deadly force may be justified only under narrow circumstances, such as when the person reasonably believes it is immediately necessary to protect against another's use or attempted use of deadly force, or to prevent certain violent felonies. Texas also has no general duty to retreat if the person is lawfully present and not engaged in criminal activity. So Karmelo, based on what we heard, was present under the tent lawfully. He wasn't doing anything illegal, and he was not engaged in any criminal activities. He was at the track meet, minding his own business. So the central question is whether the facts meet the legal standards for justified deadly force. The defense argues Anthony feared imminent serious harm. Prosecutors argued the force used was not legally justified. The jury must decide based on the evidence presented at the trial, according to the Guardian. So these things has to be met, as far as the legal aspect of, not emotionalism, not of this a black kid killed a white kid, or he should have never been there. Why he had a knife or a cleat cleaner inside his backpack? He shouldn't have been sitting on a tent. The coach said nobody can sit under the tent. None of that matters as far as what the law says versus the law. Yes, it's sad that someone died under those circumstances, but it was a situation that should never been escalated from the begin with. These are teens, high school kids at a track meet. It made no sense. It doesn't pay nobody nothing. It's free to be courteous. It's free to be kind. It's free to leave people alone. It's free to be a kind human being, no matter the circumstances, no matter the reason. It's okay to be kind. So two families are destroyed because of this track meet tent.